Hey, it's Wes.
And Shonda.
And welcome to DinkLife.
Today I am back to drinking, as is Wes. And this time I'm drinking something I've never tried before. This is Great Lakes Kick Around Tart Pog Juice. In case you don't know what Pog Juice is, it's passion fruit, orange, and guava. So you're going to see my reaction to trying this one for the first time.
And I'm having a Voodoo Ranger Juice Force IPA.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's pretty good. I would drink it again. So having said that, we are now on to our day at Tokyo Disneyland. We only spent one day there, so we had a lot to pack in. Just like with Tokyo Disney Seas, we got up early, we did the rope drop. It was slightly easier, I felt like, getting into Disneyland than it was to Tokyo Disney Seas.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we waited as long.
No, it flowed a little quicker.
Yeah. The lines moved a little bit. I don't know what the reason is.
It had the same setup, though. There was x-rays. Not every row has x-rays, so just so to be warned.
Yeah. I'm not sure why it went quicker, but It did. So anyway, we got in, the same as with Tokyo Disney Sea. We used our Klook tickets. They want you to have it on your phone rather than a paper ticket. And then as soon as we got into the park, we bought an express pass, or I think they're called Premier Access. That's what I couldn't remember when we did the Disney Seas one. We got a Premier Access pass for Beauty and the Beast, the Enchanted Tale, because that is the one ride that we do not have over here.
Yep.
And from everything we'd seen and heard, it was like totally amazing, and we had to get on it. Yeah. So that was one of the more expensive ones. Yeah. I think it was like 2,500 yen. But as you will hear us talk about later, is worth every penny. I would have paid twice that. So we got the entry for that, and it was pretty early. But we had about an hour and a half to kill. And at this point, the park was pretty empty still, which was great. Completely different from Tokyo Disney Sea.
Yeah, we got lots of pictures of nobody around.
We did. It was amazing. And the first way we went was over to Adventureland.
Yep.
So we hit Jungle Cruise because there was like no line. I think we waited 8 to 10 minutes.
It was just starting up when we walked by. They were just firing the boats up and...
Yes. Yeah. So we just kind of went, oh, let's go here. Even though we've ridden Jungle Cruise a million times, we just wanted to see if there was any differences.
Yeah.
So again, 8 to 10 minutes. It was really quick. We got on lickety split, and
Oh yeah, and just so you know, this one, the Jungle Cruise there loads different than the ones here. They actually load 2 boats at a time, and the lines kind of split it apart, and then it kind of loads into the boats.
Yes. Now again. All of the bad jokes were in Japanese.
Yeah, so you couldn't understand anything.
We didn't understand any of it, but I will tell you this. Our skipper was so full of life and so animated. It did not matter that we didn't understand what she was saying. I mean, obviously, right, like we knew the backside of water joke was coming.
Yeah.
And some of the other things. But she just was like so happy to be there.
Yep, and everybody on the boat was really into it.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like here in the States, the skipper's delivery is very dry. It's like almost sort of like, and it's this, and it's this. And I don't mean to say it's not funny.
She was very animated.
Yeah, their delivery is just a lot different.
Yeah.
She was like laughing at herself and happy and smiling and just giggling, and it was fantastic. So it didn't matter.
No, the ride other than that was pretty much exactly the same as the rides here. I think the only thing we noticed is there was a monkey that had a gun that shot the boat at one point.
Yeah, I don't think you could probably get away with that.
Yeah.
And there was a lot more fog. It seemed like.
There was a spot where the boat kind of like pulled in and they did like a fog scene. And yeah, that was about the only big difference. Is there was they had projections inside the like cave area, but I'm pretty sure Disneyland does that here.
Yeah, one of them does.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great way to start the day off. And I'm so glad that we did it because there were a couple of other rides we didn't have time to get on, that we have over here, which we'll talk about later, but I am so very glad.
Yeah, it was good.
That we got on that. Then from there, we kind of just wandered around Adventureland for a little bit, took some pictures while there was nobody there, and then we headed over to the Haunted Mansion, which is kind of, it's in a weird spot there because they don't have a place for it. So it's kind of like in between, right on the border of Adventureland and Fantasyland.
Yeah.
So it's weird because it's like the only ride in that spot that doesn't have a place.
Yeah. Yep.
But we didn't even know it was back there. We just kind of like buzzed past and we were like, oh, Haunted Mansion. Good thing we got line for that when we did too. The line was about 25 minutes, so it wasn't terribly long at the time.
No, we didn't wait that long.
One really cool thing though, when we were in line, there were these teenage boys. They were so cute. They walked past us and they were like, hi. And they were like, it's so nice to meet you. It's so nice to be friends with you. And like, it's so cute over there because they really are enamored of Americans. And like, they will talk to you and just be friendly to you. Unlike here. You know, you just don't get a lot of that. So
no, it was really cool.
Cute. Now, the one thing I will say of the Disneys that we've been to and the versions of the Haunted Mansion, this one had the best facade, I thought.
Yeah, well, the ones here, they have a very clean look. This one had a shattered window with a...
broken gates.
Yeah. It had a little couple broken things, like something bad happened here.
Yes, there were freshly dug graves
Other than
outside.
that, it was like a very clean looking place. It wasn't run down like Paris.
No.
It just looked like something bad just happened here and you're about to go in.
Yes, and just like the freshly dug graves were really cool to see, like mounds of dirt and... you know, when you were walking into the line, there were like paths cut into the rocks that looked like if you went through them, you would go back into the back area, the backyard or whatever. And there were like footprints and it just was really cool. Like, you know, in Disney fashion, as always, they thought of every single detail.
It was cool. The inside was pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I think there was a little bit of a different pre-show at the beginning.
And yet again, this was a ride where Wes tried to take a picture right as we were going in. And,
they stopped us.
We were given the old tisk and told not to. So
yeah. I think the only other thing that I noticed is maybe the when you go down the hallway with the doors that are kind of rattling and whatnot. One of the doors there had fog that came out of the sides a little bit that added to it. I thought it made it look a little better than the doors here.
Yes. Yeah, other than that, though, the inside of the ride was
pretty much the same. They didn't have a Hatbox Ghost.
They didn't have a Hatbox Ghost, which was kind of disappointing. But, you know, otherwise it was great.
Yeah, it was a good ride.
It was a very good ride. Loved it. Definitely glad we did that one, too.
Yeah.
So, from there, you know, we were in Fantasyland, so we just bopped on over to Pinocchio and rode that. It's the same as it is here.
Yeah, it was just a little maybe darker, we thought, inside. At least like the wood seemed a little more scarier than how they paint some of the stuff here.
Yes. And again, we didn't wait long for that.
No, yeah. It was crazy because like
minutes.
the one big difference there is there wasn't actually that many kids. It was mostly 20 to 30-year-olds.
Yes.
So none of them really went for these rides. With when you're in Florida, they actually, that's what all the families are going for. So all the family rides at Tokyo Disneyland were almost dead when you walked by.
Yeah. Yeah,
they were pretty much walk-ons, like 15 minutes or less. But I think that was the main difference in the time differences there, yeah.
Yeah, what did we wait, 10, 15 minutes for that maybe?
Yeah, it was hardly anything, yeah.
It was very...
A lot of those kids' rides there was just, you could almost walk right on. Right.
So, you know, it was fun just to see the differences. Again, same general layout, just some differences in the painting and like how frightening maybe the ride is for children.
Yep.
I think they're a little more into that sort of scaring.
Yeah,
thing.
well, a lot of our horror films kind of even we've copied a lot of that stuff, like all the Rings, all those.
Yes,
a lot of that style comes from Japan, and Japan's very into that spook. It does the spookiest style, probably the best out of everybody.
I would say so. So after we got off Pinocchio, it was our premiere access pass. It was time to go see Beauty and the Beast. I can't even. Like the facade of the castle,
amazing.
holy Moses, like it was like a whole nother castle. Like, you know, when you walk in, you see whatever, Cinderella's castle, Sleeping Beauty's castle. It was like a whole nother castle in the back. And they even had like a flat painted in the background to look like the mountains and the hills behind the castle.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was just crazy. Like, this is the thing that comes with a premiere access pass that I kind of don't like, you don't get to enjoy the line.
Oh yeah, you pretty much walk right in,
we blasted right through there, and we didn't really get to stop and appreciate anything. I mean, it's nice, right, to be able to cut to the front of the line, but you miss a lot of things.
Yeah. A nice thing, though, was while we were at the very front of a line, a guy noticed I had a Disneyland Florida hat on and was, like, shocked. Couldn't speak really good English with us, but was shocked that I had a Florida hat on. And then he
cast member.
Yeah, it was a cast member. And then he actually kind of, like, pointed to us and, like, guided us to where the best spot to see
He let us sort of cut in front of every single other person. I mean, everybody is cutting in the lightning lane, right? Or whatever you want to call it. But he maneuvered us to the very front. And then as we walked into the first showroom, he was like, stand here. This is the best spot where you can see everything.
Yeah, it was really nice of him.
Because he knew it was our first time. Might be our only time, we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really cool of him to do that. Yeah. So kudos to whoever that cast member was.
The pre-show was amazing too.
Oh dear Lord. The animatronics, like
some of the best. I mean, they're the best out there.
It was I mean, like I can't even talk about it.
Moves around like real humans almost.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I mean, there's like that grand staircase where they meet at the top, and you know the Beast is on one side and Belle's on the other one. It was just fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Then after that, you walk into a little room where there's still a bit more of a line.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a queue.
I would say 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It had some little off the sides. There was some like little story elements almost.
Animation.
It was. Well, it'd be like a projection on a wall, but you would see the Beast like back there, like talking, doing something. It just looked like he was right around the corner right there.
Yeah,
really
like
cool.
Mrs. Potts was talking to Chip, and
yep.
I mean, it was just really cool. It makes standing in line just so completely bearable.
Yeah.
You know, and then you walk into this big room where, you know, it's the kitchen basically. So the stove is there and it's talking, and like you can see the teacups pull up where you're gonna load, and your jaw just goes, oh my God, what are we in for? So this is a trackless ride. It's a lot like Ratatouille or Spider-Man. If you've been to Universal, you know it moves all the cups move independently.
Yeah, and they're very large. Very large.
What were there, 10 people in each cup, I think?
Yeah, each cup loaded a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it was 5 in the front, 5 in the back.
Yeah, they were way bigger than like Mickey's Runaway Railroad or Ratatouille ride compartments.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and then it also could pivot and rotate while it kind of did its thing too, which was neat.
Yeah. So that ride, I taped the entire thing. I had my phone like sitting up here and I was taping it. Was like almost 8 minutes long, I think. So it's a long one. It's fantastic. I mean, I can't even, my mind was just completely blown. At the end of it, I was tearing up. Like I actually had tears in my eyes. That's how just like amazing and stunning, and like I don't have enough good words.
Yeah, it's amazing.
To describe it. And I mean to tell you, if we could have ridden it numerous times, we would have. But when we got there with our fast pass, the line was already like 2 hours long.
Yeah. So then after that, we kind of went and got some lunch.
Yeah, so it was still early. It was probably like 10:45, 11 o'clock. But again, as we had said earlier, if you don't get to the restaurants when they open, you're going to wait a long time. And even though we got there when it was early,
still getting busy, yeah.
It was still busy.
The dining room was almost filled up. We had to sit outside.
We did. But again, as with Tokyo Disney Seas and everything else we've talked about, we went to quick service, Tomorrowland Terrace. The food was good, really good.
Yeah, the food was good.
Yeah,
I had like a Salisbury steak with fried rice, and it had like an egg in there too. It was really good. It was different, but it was good.
Mm-hmm. And I had some ramen with some pork, I think, in it. And they just take such care. Like there was a little, I don't even know what it was made of, like a piece of rice paper or something that had like Mickey and Minnie on it, and they were kissing.
Yeah.
It was adorable. And this is quick service, you know, like.
And then you had those little alien buns too.
I did. I finally got to have my like little alien dumplings, which were delicious.
Yeah.
There was chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. It was tasty, really tasty for quick service, not terribly expensive yet again. And you could get a meal, so like with fries and a drink that came with it too. We just ate outside very quickly because we had a dinner reservation. It was like a middle of the day reservation for later. So yeah, we just wanted to eat something quick before we moved on with our day. From there, we kind of circled back to the front of the park to pick up all of the things that we had missed before that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and we ran into the Disneyland band playing.
We did, and
we sat and watched them for a little while.
I mean to tell you, like, they were so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
And they were so into it, too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
again, they were all just, like, happy to be there and smiling and enjoying themselves. And I teared up again, because that's what I do. Because they were just, like, they played Go the Distance, and, you know, then it's like they played all these things, and I'm just like, oh, my heart, you know?
Yeah, it was good.
But it was fantastic. And then we took a stroll through a couple of the stores. It's a lot like Main Street in Disney World, where the stores are kind of connected.
Yeah. Same style merch, though, from Disney Seas.
Yeah.
More like trinkets, small knickknacks, and food.
Yeah. The one cool thing, though, there that we did run into was like sort of an old-fashioned arcade.
Oh, yeah, that was really cool, too. It had a bunch of electrical mechanical games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they kind of got rid of that stuff at the one here. They still do have the magic shop there, too, which they did
like
kill
real,
over. Yeah.
honest-to-God magic tricks
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And somebody demonstrating them.
Yep.
So those two things were super cool.
Yeah, which I kind of wish the one, or at least Orlando still had that stuff, but
yeah.
They
but the arcade was really cool with those old games from like the 30s and the 40s. Like it was just really cool to see.
Yep.
This is gonna end up being a sort of long one, just like the Disney Seas. So we're gonna break it up into 2 parts.
Yeah.
So this was part 1 of our day at Tokyo Disney Resort, and as always, just remember, whatever you decide to do, just get out there and do it.